She's a living legend, Hollywood royalty. In a film career spanning over 30 years, Meryl Streep's success has come not only through her talent and hard work, but also her choices. But despite all this mega success, she's still incredibly candid about her own insecurities.
Oh, I doubt myself every day, especially when people write very complimentary things. I tend to feel afraid to make a move, and when people are critical, I tend to agree with them. So it's always, you know, we are the accumulation of everything that's happened to us.
Famous for hunting out tough roles that push her to the edge of human emotions, her work has been both critically and commercially acclaimed. But ask her the secret to the art of acting, and this modest star, who admits to still suffering from stage fright, appears as mystified about it as the rest of us.
Really, I don't know how actors work. I don't know how anybody else does it. It's a very odd process when you think about it.
Many of her roles have been women in extreme situations. Take Kramer versus Kramer, Out of Africa, and Doubt. Meryl likes the challenge of taking on characters who face great inner turmoil.
There are all kinds of actresses, and there are all kinds of careers that you could pick. I mean, you do not have to do that to have a very successful career. However, if you want one that feeds your soul, I think you do have to go to the limit of experience.
Each role needs to pose a challenge. Apart from dramatic films, we've also seen her in comedies like Death Becomes Her and singing and dancing in Mamma Mia.
I do have a perverse need to put challenges in front of me that make me sort of step up to what it is that I fear, you know. So I did that for that reason, just to conquer my physical timidity and temerity.
Meryl Streep has never been overly concerned with her appearance. The way she looks is determined by the character she's playing at the time. Still, she admits one thing about vanity.
May I say that actors, in general, as a general sweeping rule, are much more vain than actresses.
And you're not vain?
No. I'm vain, but I'm nothing compared to these men.
Meryl has had both critical and commercial success. She's been nominated 16 times for an Oscar and has won 2. Of her 24 Golden Globe nominations, she's won 7, with a long dry spell in between. After her Golden Globe in 1983, she had to wait 20 long years until her role in adaptation brought this.
Meryl Streep.
Oh, I didn't have anything prepared because it's been like since the Pleistocene era that I won anything. Oh, goodness. Okay. Yoga.
And she's modest too. We may see Meryl as a star, just don't ask her to agree. In fact, she does her best to stay as far away from the hype of Hollywood as possible, with no desire to branch out into other fields.
Many actors produce their own films, and I don't do that. And I don't live in Los Angeles, where films are mostly financed, and so I'm gratefully ignorant of most of the business part of it. You know, I'm strictly an actor for hire, and I like it that way.
Meryl's talent and success has made her an inspiration. Our own Nicole Kidman's one of the many actresses who look up to Meryl, and in 2002 she starred alongside her in the acclaimed drama The Hours.
For me, she was the goddess, you know, she was the great actress who I was aspiring to be, so to actually be in a movie with her was really special.
Nicole's ex-husband Tom Cruise was equally as impressed when he got the chance to work with Meryl in Lions for Lambs.
That was an absolute joy working with Meryl. I think everything that's been said could be said about her, and it's all true. Extraordinary artist, an extraordinary woman, very generous. It's a dream to work with her, and it was everything that that I wanted. I remember saying, you know, I really can't wait to work with you. And she said, well, I hope you're not disappointed. And I don't think anyone can be disappointed working with her. She's truly very special, obviously, and magnificent.
She's an actress whose career has been filled with adulation and success. But what did she envisage way back when she was an acting student at the Yale School of Drama?
I thought, will I be able to make a living? Will I be able to pay my rent? And I imagined that I would be an actress in the theater in New York all my life. That's what I saw for myself. When I finally reconciled myself to the fact that I would be an actress, and it took a long time to even admit that, because I'm not somebody who wanted to be a star since I was 8.
Meryl has been married for more than 30 years to sculptor Don Gummer. Together they've raised 4 children, an experience from which Meryl has learned a lot. Or has she?
I've learned exactly the breadth and width of what I don't know. My children tell me every day, you don't know. You don't know what I feel. You don't know my style. Yes, my daughter said to me the other day, you just don't understand my style.
In 2006, Meryl Streep had box office success playing the Frosty magazine editor-in-chief, Miranda Priestley, in The Devil Wears Prada. She was a hit on screen and on set, where she was happy to share her wealth of knowledge. But true to form, she was happy to leave the directorial control in the hands of others.
It's not my area of expertise. I'm sort of more, I can contribute to a script and help, you know, with what a character might say. But as far as the architecture of a whole story, I don't have that skill.
Meryl was cast before I was, and when I found out she was doing it, it just made me all the more hungry to be able to do Andy. And she's exactly the way you expect. She's brilliant. She's an Oscar-worthy actress.
And Meryl Streep, of course, is the force of nature that everyone imagines her to be, but quietly so. She has a surprisingly raucous laugh, which I really like, and she's very easy. Just I think the whole, you know, image that people have of her and that she hears that people have her being this legend she just doesn't quite acknowledge it, or it doesn't land with her, you know.
David Frankel, who's the director, would say that it's the Boss from Hell film, but to me it's the story of a woman in corporate, at the head of the corporate ladder, who's misunderstood, whose motives and the pressures on her are intense, and who doesn't have time to play certain nice games but she plays other games that make good business sense.
In 2008, Meryl starred in another blockbuster, the musical Mamma Mia. Apart from acting, she was also called on to sing and loved every second of it.
That's sort of the fun of Mamma Mia, is all that play. You know, it's just play. And I don't get asked to do stuff like that, ever.
Now in her 60s, she continues to be at the top of her field. In 2009, she received her 15th Oscar nomination for her powerful portrayal of a nun searching for answers in doubt. As an actress, no one can question her success, but Meryl still has her insecurities, and rather than fight her self-doubt, she uses it to her advantage.
I think of it as my friend. I sort of cultivate my own insecurities, because I think actors need to feel a little bit uncertain in order to admit all the possibilities that there can be for a character.
In 2009, Meryl starred alongside Amy Adams in Julie and Julia, playing Julia Child, the woman that introduced French cooking to mainstream America in the 1960s. Meryl's own experience of cooking growing up was pretty much non-existent.
My mother hated cooking. My mother had one cookbook. It was the Peg Bracken I Hate to Cook book. I remember it. It's this woman smoking a cigarette, I think, on the thing, going, oh, on the cover. And my mother didn't smoke, but she said, if it's not done in 45 minutes, it's not dinner. And yeah, we had a lot of frozen food. When I was 10, I remember going to a kid's house, and she and her mother were in the kitchen doing something to tennis balls. I said, what are you doing? I said, we're peeling potatoes. I said, that's not potatoes. Potatoes come in a box. Because I actually didn't know that. But my mother knew how to have a good time. She really did. And she really lit up the room when she entered it.
For her role in Julie and Julia, Meryl received an Oscar nomination, and she won a Golden Globe, and was as humble as always.
The award itself is from the Hollywood Foreign Press, who have seen me for 30 years in movies, and they're still not sick of me. That means something to me. It really does, because it's hard to remain new.
As self-deprecating, humble and funny as ever, Meryl Streep is a true Hollywood legend. So what are her words of wisdom to those that aspire to follow in her footsteps?
Don't read the blogs. It's really hard not to Google yourself and get into the horrible vortex, but it's much, much better. Better for your mental health and everything else. If you try to lessen the self-awareness and the self-consciousness.
Meryl Streep is truly remarkable. She has this ability to show so much of what's going on inside the character's head by doing so little on screen, the sign of a truly great actor. Stay tuned to Star Picks for all the movies you know and the actors you love, broadcast in glorious high definition with 5.1 surround sound where available. For more of the best in entertainment news, check out your movie network channels. It's altogether better, on screen and at mnc.tv.